Hey YouTube, it's Little Rocker Cutie 2005, also known as Andre here. Once again, I'm hanging out with Buffy Xenaman, also known as Chris. And if we look a little wiped out, it's because it is
6 a.m.
6 a.m. here in Michigan. And that's, you could say, bedtime for us usually, but as you can see, I'm on the Pepsi binge. But we wanted to do a special thank you video to Karatepopcorn, who gave us a nice shout out a couple days ago. Robin, you'll probably be watching this video, so we wanted to say thank you for the wonderful shout out. And we wanted to tell you a story on how we have such a wonderful rapport and on how we met. We actually met when we were in high school. Actually, we were both freshmen. I think I would have been 15, wouldn't I?
Yeah.
Yep. 15 and 14, right?
Right.
And anyways, our first conversation was, what was it?
About Pikachu and the answer machine.
You'll have to elaborate on that. I can't remember.
Okay. It was like first month of school, and all our friends went off to separate things, and we didn't feel like moving at all. And we started talking, and at the time we were watching Pokemon, and we're talking about, for some reason, about Pokemon, and a Pikachu entered the answer machine, and he kept yelling Pikachu, Pikachu. We were laughing so hard that the other tables left.
I think we chased off everybody at every single table.
Oh, that was a daily thing to begin with, too.
It wasn't just us, it was our whole group.
Yeah, that's a daily thing where everyone just chased people off. Yeah, that was our first conversation. So it's been like over 13 years.
Yep, it was 13 years actually this past August, so, and we're still the best of friends. We're like brothers, and I guess that's why we have such a good rapport.
Although times I wanted to kill them, but that's a different story altogether.
That's natural. But anyways, we'd also like to do a little part of this where Robin, we're going to give you some recommendations of mainly some horror movies for your journey into horror. But I have a particular director for your Zombie Friday, along with a couple horror recommendations of my own. One set I think you should get, and then just a regular recommendation. But I think I'm going to let Chris go first since I have more.
Okay, this movie is freaking awesome. I have not seen the entire series yet. I've seen 1 through 3. I haven't seen number 4 yet, but it's Phantasm. It is like one of the best horror series out there. The Tall Man is awesome.
I haven't watched it yet because I'm trying to get the sequels first.
Good. Oh, I seen 2 and 3. Number 4 I have yet to see, and plus I hear there's a number 5 coming out.
5 has been rumored for years, and it's never happened.
Well, either way, I hope it happens. Just hope they don't remake it with some horrible actor.
No, that from what I've heard, if they do a number 5, the Tall Man wants to come back.
And he has that famous line in this movie. Boy.
He uses that in all of them, though.
Yeah, but he used it at the end.
Right.
Well, I'll ruin it, but... And then... Oh, this is an awesome movie. LL. One of my favorite parts was one of the kids in the mortuary. He meets the Tall Man, goes, they start walking towards each other. And then when they get to the middle, he takes off running. Tall Man right behind him. They're running through like all these places, to their coffin room. He goes down the door, shuts the door, and the Tall Man's fingers. He's going, takes his knife.
Oh yeah, that was on the Boogeyman DVD.
Yep.
That's the only part of that movie I've seen. Other than the part with the flying sphere.
Oh, that's the best weapon ever. Because he'll take the dead people he steals, he'll take out their brains, put them in these spears, and turn their bodies into these midget minions. So,
like dwarf zombies or something like that from what I saw.
mindless midget zombies, I guess. So, watch Phantasm.
I guess my first pick would have to be, and it is a classic, it's Steven Spielberg's Jaws. Let me get that glare off. It's that foil cover, so... Now, this is the 30th anniversary 2-disc DVD. It does have a documentary on it, and it comes with a booklet, but I'm not sure if this is better than the digibook that came out on Blu-ray, but I know that the older version I had a lot more features. But this movie is basically about a great white shark that terrorizes a small, like, I want to call it like a beach resort town. And it's about mainly the sheriff, and they got a marine biologist played by Richard Dreyfuss, and then this mad, like, boat captain played by Robert Shaw, and they're trying to stop it. And, oh, I forgot to mention the sheriff is Roy Scheider. This was a pretty good movie for being from the 70s. It's really scary, and it's one I enjoy. And then I would have to talk about the only sequel to Jaws worth watching, and that is Jaws 2, because we have Roy Scheider coming back. We have the woman who plays his wife coming back. There's a lot of, like, new characters in this one. It's a really underrated sequel, and I'm going to have to agree with both Matt Ramblerath for Life and Mike OCP Communications that this is a very underrated sequel, and I like that they turned Jaws into a slasher movie, kind of like they said they did. Now, for another franchise, I'd have to go with, I think everybody has seen the original Psycho, but I'm going to have to go with the sequels. This is the set of Psycho 2, 3, and 4. Now, I borrowed this from my mom because I've never seen these. So far, I've only watched part 2, and I was working my way through it a second time to really kind of get everything out of it before I went on to 3 and 4. But basically, I think we all know the story of Norman Bates, and these movies just continue his story, except part 4 is a prequel that, I guess it tells you how Norman became Norman, but there's also more to it that I won't go into and spoil. But I think, from what I've seen, like bits and pieces of 3 and 4, along with all of 2 one time, these are really good sequels for what they are. And the cool thing about part 3, which is my mom's favorite, is that it was directed by Anthony Perkins himself. So, I don't know if that plays into making it her favorite, or if the woman in there, it plays a part, but I'm going to have to ask her one of these days. Now for my director for your Zombie Friday. I think most people know this director, but I think I would have to go with basically the creator of the zombie genre. I don't know if you could call him the creator, because I've seen some of your videos, Robin, of the Zombie Friday, and you've done zombie movies from like the 30s and 40s. And this director started doing his stuff in the 60s. And of course I'm talking about George Romero, and where it began with the classic Night of the Living Dead. Now this one's actually in color, and it's a 2004 release. I got it from Chris here. I'm not a big fan of the original. I like the remake more than I like this, and I think the main reason why is because with this one, Barbara's a wuss and goes all catatonic and gets killed in the end.
I like when she got slapped by the guy.
Yeah.
It's like, really?
Yeah.
Really? You freak out and he smacks you the commune down. You go catatonic on us?
Yeah. But the remake, which we're also going to go into a little bit more in a few minutes here, is, I think the reason I like that one more is because they turned Barbara into a fighter. And instead of going all catatonic and all that like in the original, she fights back. Which I think is a really cool, I don't know, like maybe a twist on it. But I think that was what made it really interesting. Now back to my Romero films. This was in my last update, but it's George Romero's Dawn of the Dead. Now this is the best edition to have. It's got 3 cuts of the movie, plus a disc of documentaries, And I think we all know the story of this one. The zombie outbreak from Night of the Living Dead has began, and we've got 4 people taking refuge in a shopping mall. And of course, there's a biker gang that breaks in. Some of the characters we meet and get to know and love die, but I won't go into who if you haven't seen it. But this, I think, is the ultimate zombie movie and probably Romero's best.
Oh, yeah.
Any thoughts on it?
That's probably my favorite movie out of the entire George Romero series. And all remakes, that's my favorite one.
I have to agree.
That's well written, well acted, and basically, it's just a damn good zombie movie.
Good job on the effects, too.
Yep. Just know, look, a running zombie.
Yeah.
It's a zombie. It doesn't know how to run, it just walks.
Next up, we have what was supposed to be the finale of George Romero's movies. It was 1985's Day of the Dead. Now, this one, I can't say I like it more than Dawn of the Dead because, like I said, that's my favorite. But this one was pretty good in its own right. But I can't say it holds a candle to Dawn, except for the gore effects, once again, done by Tom Savini. And I like the fact that they're trying to train zombies, including this guy here on the cover. I can't exactly remember what they're training the zombies for, but it was just an interesting watch. I'd have to watch it again to really, I don't know, kind of get everything out of it. And I haven't watched it in a while, so this may be worth another look to me.
Well, maybe they're training to be prostitutes.
Huh?
Maybe they're trying to train them to be prostitutes. Streetwalker zombies.
Oh, sure, streetwalker zombies. Chomp! Then you're just creating more of them.
That'll cost you extra, though.
There's no way you can train a zombie not to bite.
Well, in The Walking Dead, they just chop up their jaws and chop up their arms, and they're helpless. By the way, I recommend that series for you who into zombies. The Walking Dead.
What I saw of it was good, too.
It's based on the comic book of the same name. It's in season 3 right now. I can't remember the new person they brought in, but she was Andrea in this town with the governor, and she's in the comic book too. I can't remember her name. She's an African American lady with a katana and 2 zombies. She keeps on chains. She takes them around, makes them pack mules, and she chopped off their arms and took off their jaws so they couldn't do anything, and they're slowly starving to death. And if you run to dead people like that, they won't attack you. So try Walking Dead.
Yeah, but back to the Romero stuff. Next up, I have what was supposed to be his 2001 release, originally called Dead Reckoning. This is Land of the Dead. Now, this was one of the ones I got into when it first came out. This was, of course, before the next 2 I'm about to show. This is from 2005. But the reason this one came out later than when it was supposed to back in 2001 is because George Romero was in the process of writing it, and then 9/11 happened, and so he figured that that wasn't the right time to come out with a zombie movie. So he waited until 2005, finished the script, and changed it to Land of the Dead, and basically kind of, I don't know, you think he took it in a different direction or kind of just went and ended his original storyline?
I think he just went too far in one direction. I mean, the learning zombies, I don't really buy.
No.
I don't buy the fact they're learning because, you know, they're rotting. They're dead.
Right.
And they're rotting, and it's like they're learning how to fight back, and I didn't really buy that. And the cheerleader zombie and, like, the 3 main zombies are bleeding it.
The whole thing with them...
They bug me.
The whole thing with them using weapons, like to break into that Fiddler's Green.
Yeah.
It's like, how's a zombie gonna know how to use a weapon?
Right, and also the ending I won't give away. It's like, what the fuck?
It leaves you scratching your head, I'll put it that way.
It's the only reason you get that movie is for the collector.
The collection.
Yeah.
I'm a completist in that way. I gotta have them all. But for what it was, I enjoyed it.
When we watched that, was that on Halloween?
Yeah, it was.
It was like, I got there over there after I went to school. I went over there and we watched Land of the Dead.
Yeah.
Because I think I bought it.
Yeah, because I bought it. I bought it too the week it came out.
And we watched it, and at the end we weren't really satisfied with it.
Right. Next up, I have here, this one is the 2008 release, Diary of the Dead. Now, I think with this one, if I can get that glare off, George Romero was trying to retell Night of the Living Dead and take it in a new direction, which I think he did kind of an interesting job with, and the whole thing of if it doesn't happen on camera, it didn't happen. I think that's a pretty interesting, like, what George Romero wanted out of this one was kind of a social commentary on the whole internet video thing, YouTube and all that sort of thing. And I think he did a pretty interesting take on it.
I watched it once, and to be honest, I half paid attention to it and half didn't, because I don't know why. It's just, I didn't really pay much attention I would with any other movies. It's just, I don't know, probably because of the concept of the internet thing, or I just didn't really find it automatically interesting.
Right.
Like a lot of movies, if I find it automatically interesting, I won't do anything.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'll go pause and get a drink.
Pause, get a drink, something to munch on, back to the movie.
Or in my case, when I had the tar, it's like, pause. No!
Yeah.
Back to the movie.
Come back here! And next up, I have, this is the most recent George Romero movie, even though it's from 2010. It's Survival of the Dead. Now, I've only seen half of this, but it picks up where Diary of the Dead left off. I'm not sure if it's I don't think it's with the same people, but
I know why. Because there was this, in the Diary of the Dead, there was this group of elite soldiers that were filmed for, I think, a scene, and they took that and made it to that.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what they did. And it's about that elite group.
Okay, I'll have to watch it again. I only made it like half of it.
It explains in the beginning about it, about how they were on the internet, and then, yeah, and I don't know, I watched like the first hour, I think it was. I don't think I made it halfway through, and
I think I made it probably like 45 minutes in.
I don't know, there's newer stuff.
Yeah.
I can't really get into like the older stuff because he just breaks, I guess he breaks his
he breaks his own rules with this newer stuff.
Right, and it's like I can't really get into it as, like with Dawn of the Dead, the original. First time I saw that, held my attention the whole freaking time.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end, I'm like, wow.
That was like me with this one. It is the 1990 Tom Savini directed remake of Night of the Living Dead. Now, the screenplay was done, and this was also executive produced by George Romero. And like I said, he wrote the screenplay, and Tom Savini, he directed it. There was supposed to be like a bit of a gorier version, but the MPAA really went after him because they were taking a lot of, I don't know if you'd call it heat for a lot of the horror movies that came out in the 80s, but from like 88 on is when they really started cutting down a lot of everything, and you didn't really see like a lot of gore unless it had an unrated version, which this never had.
Like some movies like Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5 and Jason Takes Manhattan, you could tell that they were like
right,
or like a couple of Halloween movies at that time. That's when they were like, no.
Yeah, the quick cuts.
Yep. But this remake I like better.
Yeah, it is a good one.
It gives a sad moral at the end. That's a sad but true fact.
Yeah.
They are us, we are them. It's a sad fact, but true. And, by the way, if you want to really catch up on horror movies and you want to see what each one looks like, but what's the word I'm looking for? You want to get a quick view or get a quick
like a little taste.
Yes, I recommend Boogeyman. This has villains from Hellraiser, Nightmare on Elm Street, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Scream, Child's Play, Candyman, Leprechaun, The Ugly, Wishmaster, The Guardian, I Know What You Did Last Summer, The Dentist, Phantasm, Puppetmaster, Psycho, Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday, and Halloween.
A lot of good ones on this, and there was supposed to be a volume 2, but we don't know when it's coming out yet.
Yes, and that's supposed to have like Hannibal Lecter and that one. And yeah, but also all our home movie, a couple of them. One we don't have. One I forgot to grab was the first one we don't have is Wishmaster.
Yeah,
that's what I would call a very smart horror movie series. It was a sleeper hit back in the 90s about a djinn. He's trapped in a fire sapphire, and if you make 3 wishes, his race gets released. So pretty much there's that, and or he makes 1,001 wishes, which I believe is right.
Yeah.
He opens a portal to the other world, and only a holy person can stop him.
Yep.
There's another one where you can kill him with the sword of the archangel in the third one. And the fourth one is probably my favorite one, which I love it because it's different from the other ones, because this woman released him, didn't know what the hell a djinn was, didn't know what he was at all. And made the 3 wishes, but the last wish, she wished for someone to love her.
Oh.
And the djinn tries to make her fall in love with him. And that movie has a brilliant but sad ending. So you should check those out. And then there's the Sleepaway movies.
Sleepaway Camp, yes. Those are some decent slasher movies. They were... The original basically started off as like a rip-off of Friday the 13th, but it turned into kind of a sleeper hit in 1983, which gave it 2 direct-to-video sequels. I think they both came out in 88, but I personally like the sequels better, especially part 2.
Oh, yeah, me too. And there's a part...
And there is a 4th one.
Isn't there like a 5th one?
This 5th one is actually considered the 4th one. It's the one they made out of that extra DVD that came in the box set of the one they never finished.
Well,
which mainly half of it's like a clip show, and there's only like 30 minutes of new stuff.
Well, the first one, my favorite part was the ant. Creeps the shit out of him.
Yes, it does.
But as for me, I used to do this all the time to him.
I laugh, but I find it creepy.
She'll go, no, that will not do. We have to fix that. Yes, we have to fix that. Yeah, that. Yeah. Creepy lady, but I love the impression. Oh, I have a son. Would you like to be my daughter? Would you like to be my daughter? Yes, I could dress you like a pretty girl. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it, Angela?
I think then we get on to part 2. I think the creepiest thing for me is Angela coming back, of course, and the Happy Camper song.
Although, I have to say this, that song kind of creeps me out too. I don't know the lyrics. I just don't. I'm a happy camper. Something like. But the one thing I can say about the kills, they're justified kills.
Justified and creative at the same time.
I mean, like the sisters that got drunk and stoned all the time, she burnt with alcohol and a joint. With like this one girl who's like being a leech, she shoves in the abandoned outhouse and grabs a stick, saying, "You're a leech. Jess.
Yeah.
Whatever her name was.
Allie.
So you can go down with the leeches. And she kept poking her back down with the leeches.
Something cool about Sleepaway Camp 2 is that all the characters, if you listen to their names carefully, they're named after members of the Brat Pack. Like Allie, she was named after Allie Sheedy. There's a character named Mare. She was named after Mare Winningham. There was, oh gosh, I know there was a Molly. It would have been after Molly Ringwald. There was Charlie and Emilio. They were these two little boys named after Emilio Estevez and Charlie Sheen. It's about all I can think of. I'd have to go back and watch it again.
We have a third movie, which is probably my least favorite.
I have to agree.
But it's better. Well, I'll get to the next one in a minute. But it's basically she goes back. The camp's been abandoned. She goes back, disguised badly as a teenager.
Very badly.
And slowly kills off everyone in this group. And I won't give away the ending, but I'm trying not to, but that's like one of my favorite lines.
The lawnmower kill is my favorite.
The one is that racist rich girl.
Yeah.
You know who my daddy is? You put me down. Oh, she's dragging her up a flagpole.
Yeah. Put me down. Okay.
And drops her in the cement.
Yeah.
It is a connection to the second one because the father of the son that was killed comes there looking for Angela. And he finds her and says, "How are you going to kill me?"
A gun.
And shoots him. Now, the next one, I do not really care for it.
I can't say I hate it because I like the fact that the person who played her cousin came back, and then the original Angela comes back. Because in 2 and 3, Angela was played by a different actress, but with this fourth one, the actress from the original comes back.
Right, but that one kid, I felt no sympathy for.
I know, he's going around, your ass stinks. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, kill him now.
Oh, and he's walking around in dirty clothes the entire fucking time.
Even after they've thrown eggs at him and stuff.
And paintball.
Yup.
That really made no sense, but if you sit through it long enough, you will love the end. The
end is worth it.
It's a twist I like.
It was a very worthwhile ending to a decent series.
And yeah, the next one we have not seen yet. We have not gotten it yet. Maybe one day we'll get it to watch it.
I think the only place to get it really is on Amazon because it's one of them deep burn-on demands.
Well, we could try. Well, that's one of the things we'll probably have to get.
Now, my last recommendation for you, Robin, is one I think everybody knows about, but I'm not sure. Actually, I have 2 more here, but this first one, it's non-horror, but I think it's one everybody either knows about or should know about, and it is the 80s classic, The Outsiders. Now, I think everybody, basically for us, we had to read the book when we were in middle school, and we got to watch the movie, but we only got to see the theatrical cut. This version came out, I think, in 2005. Yeah, that's what it says, 2005. And it's actually an extended cut. They took the theatrical cut and added 30-something minutes of new footage into this one. Now, I haven't watched this yet, so I don't know what they added in. But I do love the theatrical cut. I think this is, a really great teen movie for the 80s, and plus it had a lot of good people who would go on to bigger careers, including Patrick Swayze, may he rest in peace, Tom Cruise, Matt Dillon, who actually had a comeback with There's Something About Mary in the 90s, Diane Lane, she's still acting. I think she won an Oscar for Unfaithful.
I don't know who else is in this.
Ralph Macchio, Rob Lowe.
Yep.
Emilio Estevez.
Thomas Well. And just like they all went to good careers. And Heather, and according to like some sources I read, Heather Langenkamp is supposedly in this movie.
Yeah, there's supposed to be footage of her. This was actually her first movie before Nightmare on Elm Street. She did this and then the other S.E. Hinton adaptation of Rumblefish that Francis Ford Coppola did back to back. But the rumor was that Francis Ford Coppola cut her footage out of both films. Now, what I'm hoping for with this version is that possibly her footage could be back in, or at least put like into a deleted scene or something like that, because I would love to see her footage. I love her in Nightmare on Elm Street. She's like one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's supposed her theme's supposed to be at the drive-in theater.
So that's at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, so that's what I heard.
Now this last one, it's one I think that everybody should pick up. And Robin, I remember from your Halloween reviews, you said you liked this one a lot. But this is the new Scream Factory release of Halloween 2. Now this is a 2-disc. It's got the theatrical cut and the television cut. And the television cut has got like probably 20 to 30 minutes of added footage in the first hour alone, plus a lot of extra dialogue and stuff like that, and more as to why certain things are happening, like why the hospital's dark all of a sudden. I won't give it away, but if you see this in the store, Robin, I would definitely pick it up because this is the best edition to have. It's got a ton of special features on it, and probably the coolest thing is this reversible cover. As you can see, it's got this art here for the slipcover, and it also comes with that art, but also the original poster art, which as you can see, I flipped it around because I remember having this art on the VHS, and it always used to kind of creep me out. But since I love this movie so much, and it's one of my favorite sequels, I do enjoy that cover art. And
Well, that Halloween 2 is one of my favorite ones too. I look forward to watching that too.
it's worth the watch. Well, everybody, that's going to be it for us this time around. Once again, we'd like to send a special thank you to Robin, otherwise known as Karate Popcorn, for her nice words and her shout out to us. And we're going to give her a shout out back. And we'd also like to thank the new subscribers that have subscribed to us since her video was put up.
Thank you.
We've gone from 32 to 41, so we'd like to thank you for that. And we're going to try maybe to have some kind of contest for when we get 50 subscribers. I don't know what we're going to do yet. Maybe some of you could come up with some suggestions of possibly what we could do within like our money range. If you send us a PM, maybe we can talk about it a little more. But once again, this is Little Rocker Cutie 2005, also known as Andre. Once again, chilling with Buffy Zena Man, also known as Chris. Telling you to enjoy life, enjoy some Skittles, and enjoy some Starburst.